Hello, and I'm glad you can make it to the channel. It's not nice to see you. Today is part 2 of the Pegasus laser unit, and you might notice from the bench that it looks nothing like a laser unit at the moment. Off camera, what I've been doing is taking it to bits. Now this is all well and good. You think to yourself, why are you doing that? Well, it needed something, and I thought the best way to make sure everything was done properly was to completely strip it down, do effectively a full teardown. Now, I'm not taking each individual board apart, but I thought you might want to see what we've got so far. So let me just move the tools off the edge of this bit of board and where we've gone so far. The first thing that you'll notice is all the stepper motors are disconnected and loose in individual pairs. Now I have marked the one that was giving me the problems with the X, that one. So I've marked this one with the X, and this is the one that I've got to run through a testing sequence. Now I don't know whether it's just that it's got a dead spot or whether it just needs lubrication on the shaft. It certainly doesn't feel as smooth on a manual turn, so I may have to replace this stepper completely. Hopefully I have a spare one. Now I do have a couple of old Equinox disco lights. That's a bit of a I do have a couple of Equinox disco lights in my attic, and I know they use stepper motors, and I'm just wondering and hoping that they use the same stepper motors, seeing as I think they're from the same manufacturer, but I could be wrong, could be completely different. Either way, I can certainly track down a stepper motor that will meet this criteria. The main thing with, say, the transformers, now this hasn't been cleaned at all, is the damage on the bracketry and the fact that the whole chassis of the transformer is quite loose to rattle around. So this was just a physical thing. I'm going to have to put this in the vise, hammer these flat, make sure that all these tabs are as tight as they can, and just make it flat so that it sits neatly on top of the baseboard here. Talking of the baseboard, it's not flat. It's like bowed at the bottom here. There's a downward turn at this end of the board here. And apart from being dirty, it's sort of a bit of an S shape there. So this is just going to need bending flat. There's another ding there from where it's had some other impact damage. Again, I don't know if this is factory standard because of the way that some of these holes have been drilled. Some of these are factory holes. You can see that these are anodized and coated. But some of them are, well, quite obviously hand drilled, countersunk by using a drill bit by the looks of it, rather than a mechanical countersink bit. So they're a little bit suspect. So I'm just wondering how much of this is a factory standard unit and how much has been bodged together in the past. So this will need a clean, a straighten out. That's yet to be done. Again, I'm going to do a lot of this work off camera because watching me flatten a piece of metal is probably not going to be interesting. All of the mirrors are dirty, and I'm going to put all of these into the ultrasonic cleaner and just, give them a good old soaking in that and a bombardment. Now this is one of the unusual ones. I don't know how well that's picking up, but this is dichroic glass. It allows certain frequencies of light through but blocks others, and it's actually different both sides. You'll see that it's red one side and blue the other, if I can get the camera to pick that up. See, to me that's blue now, letting blue light through, but if I flick it round, it's only going to let red light through. So that's what that is. There is also another bit of dichroic here, which again will work as a 90-degree mirror for certain wavelengths of light. So again, these are just going to need a wash. I haven't taken out the set screws, which denote their limit of travel. simply because there's no point. Now, some of these are a bit rough and ready, some of them are bent. These haven't been put in the neatest possible way, but again, when we finally get round to aligning everything, this would be something we can set. On to the lasers. Okay, so this is one of the lasers. As you see, the fan is absolutely seized solid, so that's not going to turn under its own steam, you know, without a lot of work on it. Rather than mess around with an old second-hand fan, it's going in the bin, and I'm going to fit new ones. They're on order. Well, the other laser is on this assembly here, with all the power supplies for one. And again, I was slightly surprised. Let me move that power supply. This is a pair of power supply units, nothing unusual. They are obviously working because this is just for the laser unit. So this one and this one provides power. This is one laser unit, and yes, very pretty. It's been held in with cardboard in an aluminium block. This one mounts on another aluminium block like that to the base. But then we have this combined unit here, and that's on a block with something wedged under it to get an angle. By all accounts, it looks like a bit of hot glue has been put under it, so either it's designed to be pointed slightly upwards, or it got caught and by sheer luck and imagination it's actually working. And then you've got this one, which looks to be screwed to the base block with a couple of pipe clips and some cardboard to hold it in place. And the baseboard is covered in hot snot. You gotta laugh, haven't you? This can't be factory. I'm sure it didn't leave the factory like this. Here we have, on this bit of paper, the first controller board. Now, I've already spent quite a while taking all of that Evo stick glue off of all of the connector sockets, and it's looking a lot tidier. That's one of the diodes that's come off. But first of all, what we have here is this is the AC input terminal. This one feeds the 4 diodes in bridge rectifier configuration. I've gone through, I've taken some high-res photos. As I say, let's go through it in more detail and explain what each part of this board does. Right, okay, so here is a picture of the 4 diodes. As you can see, they're in standard bridge rectifier configuration, but they're a little unwell and they're suffering from heat stroke. And we'll go to a close-up of the pad of one that fell off the board while cleaning off that glue, you know, that horrible glue. As you can see, the solder's not very even and has overheated to the point of oxidising. That hole in the centre is actually a via to the AC input of the board. The heat caused by the overloading of the diodes has blackened the PCB right through. I won't know the full damage until I remove those components and actually clean the board. Then we have the 7805 5V regulator, which actually powers the brains of this whole unit. Again, possibly due to heat, the solder connections don't look too clever and will have to be remade. The centre pin does not look as nice as it should. Now on to the other chips. We have a brief explanation of what they do. First, we have the DMX decoder chip, which listens out for specific instructions on the control network and passes them on to the microcontroller. Then we have the ULN2803. Now this chip is a Darlington driver which has 8 inputs and 8 outputs. This allows the microcontroller to switch to much greater loads than it can handle directly. Next is the motor drive chip on the left and a bus transceiver chip on the right. The bus transceiver talks to the rest of the network to other devices. Then lastly we have the microcontroller itself. This is the brains of the whole unit and also its memory. So that's a quick brief rundown of these other chips and some of the work that needs doing. While I'm here, I'd like to say thank you for watching this video, if you've got this far. And if you do like it, and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. It'd be much appreciated. If you want notifications of future releases, then click the bell icon. If you like the video and don't want to subscribe, that's fine. But if you do like it, I'd appreciate a click on the thumbs up button, just to let me know that you have enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching.